No matter what, access to sites that have been bombed and damaged cannot be granted. That is a law.
Iran has denied reports that international inspectors have been granted access to nuclear sites damaged during the war. Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf says Tehran has drawn a firm red line on nuclear inspections. Iranian officials insist access remains limited and tightly controlled under national law. Tehran says it will not accept any new conditions beyond those already outlined in the Memorandum of Understanding. Iran has rejected reports claiming that IAEA inspectors were granted access to strike-damaged nuclear facilities. Ghalibaf says access to facilities targeted during the war remains strictly prohibited. Ghalibaf argues that entry to those sites is restricted under Iranian law, according to Press TV. According to Ghalibaf, only Iran's Supreme National Security Council has the authority to decide access to targeted facilities. Iran says the IAEA can currently visit only the Bushehr nuclear plant and the Tehran research reactor. Tehran insists its nuclear policy remains unchanged despite reports suggesting expanded inspections.
No matter what, access to sites that have been bombed and damaged cannot be granted. That is a law. No other access based on the law. SNSC, Supreme National Security Council, determined permissions for visiting these sites, and right now they have a right to visit just 2 sites, one in Bushehr and the reactor in Tehran. That's it. Access is there. We are committed to that.
Ghalibaf says all negotiations with Washington remain limited to the 14-point Memorandum of Understanding. He insists the United States cannot add a single new clause to the existing framework. Ghalibaf says Qatar helped secure the release of $6 billion, with another $6 billion expected to follow. He also says implementation talks in Zurich helped accelerate asset releases and sanctions relief. Ghalibaf says Iran was fully prepared for war if the conditions of the memorandum had not been honored. He says Iran remains ready for both diplomacy and conflict as talks with Washington continue. Ghalibaf argues Iran must strengthen both its military and economy to negotiate from a position of power. Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf said, and I quote, "Today, more than anything else, unity is what matters most to us, and true unity is embodied in the sacred solidarity around leader of the Islamic Revolution," unquote. Ghalibaf says Iran's adversaries understand only the language of force as he calls for national unity.
Negotiation is a form of combat. Even now, as we talk to America, we are dealing not with a friend but with an oath-breaking enemy who will strike the moment an opportunity arises against us. Only those who are prepared for war can truly negotiate effectively. There are clear fissures within the U.S. administration. Rubio charts one course, Vance another. When Rubio visited Bahrain last Thursday, every move he made ran counter to our memorandum. He deliberately provoked the Gulf states again, inciting them against us over the Strait of Hormuz. We face a determined adversary in this memorandum, yet we have stood our ground. Rubio is actively pushing to revive the Washington Agreement and advance the Abraham Accords, aiming to normalize Lebanon's ties with the Zionist regime. Our memorandum, however, is explicitly designed to protect Lebanon's independence. From the moment we lifted the blockade until today, we have exported more than 40 million barrels of oil. Contrast that with the previous 50 to 60 days, when we exported not a single drop, entirely consumed by the obstacles and efforts just to reach this point. We are ready to fight, and we will fight. Yet if dialogue can advance this memorandum, we will pursue it. Know that just as Lebanon's national sovereignty is our red line, if the United States oversteps, our absolute control over the Strait of Hormuz is non-negotiable. We will secure it in the best possible way. Over the next 60 days we will maintain services. We have finalized all legal and service arrangements with Oman, and within 30 days we will implement them in cooperation with Oman. We refuse to accept the narrative that lifting this siege is some trivial puff of air. This is the power of the Islamic Republic. Take pride in it and stand tall. We should relieve the people's economic burdens with dignity. By God, this memorandum is the document of America's defeat. We are fully committed to this memorandum. We engage in dialogue, but if the other side refuses to implement it, we are prepared for war and will respond decisively. The situation in Lebanon is different because the Zionist regime has militarily occupied part of southern Lebanon, leading to intense clashes. Yet, since we signed the memorandum and made progress, those clashes have markedly decreased. On the diplomatic front, we are pursuing talks to implement the 5 conditions that must either be fulfilled immediately or have their implementation process launched within the timeframe set out in the memorandum, so that we can guarantee completion by the agreed deadlines. Just 48 hours ago, after 4 or 5 rounds of negotiations between Lebanon and the Zionist regime in Washington, they reached a 14-point conclusion. But the Lebanese people reject this conclusion because it violates the Lebanese constitution. In effect, Israel is officially returning to Lebanon for a second time, and the Lebanese army is being placed at the service of the Zionist regime to guarantee Israel's security.
An Iranian hardline outlet accused IAEA chief Rafael Grossi of helping Israel gather intelligence on Iran. The outlet claimed Grossi's mission was to help build a new target bank for Israel. The accusation surfaced after reports of talks on the future role of nuclear inspectors in Iran. Reports also suggested Iran agreed to establish a nuclear working group during the Switzerland talks. Commentators claimed the return of IAEA inspectors could provide Israel with fresh information on Iran's nuclear sites. They argued Prime Minister Netanyahu is seeking updated intelligence following the recent U.S.-Israel military campaign. According to Fars news agency, Iran will not allow IAEA inspectors into Fordow, Natanz, or Isfahan for now. The report says access to those facilities will remain blocked until a final nuclear agreement is signed. Fars claimed the IAEA's expanded role would begin only after all conditions of the final agreement are fulfilled. The report added that limited monitoring would continue at existing facilities, including Bushehr and Tehran. According to Fars, Article 8 of the MoU allows expanded IAEA supervision only after a comprehensive agreement is reached. The report says sanctions relief, reconstruction, and the nuclear file must all be resolved before that stage. Fars also claimed Article 9 bars any changes to Iran's nuclear program until a final settlement is achieved. Under that interpretation, Iran will continue its current nuclear activities and existing inspection arrangements. Fars said diplomatic sources believe Rafael Grossi is seeking a broader IAEA role before a final deal is signed. All this is unfolding as Trump warns Iran to honor the new agreement or face consequences from the United States if violations are detected.
Treasury lifted sanctions on Iranian oil today.
Well,
sir.
I'm going to have to find out exactly the status, but if the sanctions go out, money is going to be put into this country. All that money is coming back in the form of purchases of food, which they desperately need. They have 91 million people; they can't feed them. So the money that we lift is going to go to our farmers, largely to our farmers.
Can you ensure that the Iranians won't use profits from oil sales to rebuild their military? And just
Well, they're
prepare
not
for the
supposed to
next
be doing
conflict?
that, so we'll see, but they're supposed to use money to buy food for their people, because right now their people are very hungry, and they're buying it exclusively from us. Corn, soybeans, there should be a lot of money. I hope it's a lot of money.
If the war with Iran could cause a worldwide depression, as you noted, Mr. President, are you willing to risk economic catastrophe and strike Iran again?
Well, not the way I'm doing it.
Not the way
It's not
you're-
going to cause depression.
Yes, but if they don't abide by the
Well,
Memorandum of
nuclear
Understanding.
weapon supersedes depression. Depression is real bad. Nuclear weapon will cause depression much more quickly. The way we're doing it, we have the opposite of a depression. We're doing really well. The numbers are incredible. The oil is at a level that nobody's ever seen before. Oil prices are way down. I think they're very comparable to what they were. Chris, I don't know, pretty comparable to what they were before we started.
They've returned most of the way back down.
Yeah.
So if Iran does not abide by the MOU, are you still
When I
willing for
didn't
strikes?
say
And
it
does it
would
give you
cause
leverage?
a depression. I said it could cause a depression, right? And I said that I don't want to be Herbert Hoover. That's a president I don't want to be, because he was in charge during the Great Depression, and certainly a lot of bad things could happen. That would be one of the things. I don't think it would, but if it did, but no, if Iran doesn't live up to their agreement, or if they're not behaving, I will do what I have to do.
Does that give them leverage over you, Mr. President?
Say it?
Does that give them leverage, the Iranians leverage over you?
Oh, you're so leverage. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their leaders are all dead. Their whole country's a mess. Their economy is shot. The Times, the fake New York Times said, oh, it's about the same as it was 4 months ago. No, 4 months ago they had a Navy, 159 ships to be exact. It's gone. The whole Navy's gone. Their 250 airplanes, all gone. Their anti-aircraft is gone. Their radar is gone. These guys love radar. Their radar is gone. Everything's gone. Their leaders are gone. Their whole country is gone. And the Times said, oh, they're about the same as they were 4 months ago. The reason the news is doing so badly, or let's put it another way, the reason that I won in a landslide, even though I got 92% negative press, all fake press, is because nobody believes the press anymore. And they have to start believing. When the Times and a couple of others, they're grasping for straws. When they say that Iran is about the same as it was 4 months. 4 months ago, they had a powerful Navy, they had a powerful Air Force. Most of their missiles are gone. Most of their launching pads are gone. Most of their manufacturing capacity for drones and missiles is gone. About 87% gone. And then I hear, oh, they're in such great shape. No, they're gone. And their first level of leaders, gone. Their second level of leaders, gone. Their third level of leaders, you have to hear the conversations. Who wants to be president? Well, I don't want it. Nobody wants to be president. And then we have to read that they're doing well. They're doing so badly.
The report claimed Tehran rejected those expanded inspection demands until negotiations are fully completed. Iranian hardliners have accused the UN nuclear watchdog of overstepping its mandate during sensitive negotiations. The allegations have added another layer of mistrust to the already fragile U.S. Iran negotiation process.